Hi there, my name is Phil. I live in the Netherlands. We had elections a few weeks ago, and I'm doing follow-ups on this because it has my interest. It is my country, but I also wonder how this is going to develop, both here in the Netherlands as in Europe. So let's get to it. I actually promised to yesterday to show you some footage with English subtitles, but well, that's a lot of work, and in the meantime, things are happening. So I think it is better to get into the content today. There's not much happening, except maybe for the motion that has been made by the VVD, NSA, PVV, and BBB, which we already talked about yesterday. And there is a new chair in the second chamber. He took over today. It was the choice between somebody of the PVV and somebody of the middle left. But controversially, it is now somebody of the PVV. Controversially because this guy is really PVV, and you would like a chair that is not part of the government, and PVV will likely become part of the government. So, but okay, he does have humor, I found out today. As about the comments on the motion, um, the motion was about a bill that already has passed the second chamber, is now in the first chamber. You could say that is the Senate. And that means that, the second chamber already said yes to this bill. And now the first chamber needs to do that to get that bill working. However, the motion has asked for a stop on that as long as the duration of the coalition being formed. And after that, a decision needs to be made what to do with it. Because when we look at the second chamber, most of the people in the parliament are on the right. And they don't like this bill. This bill is about spreading people who are seeking asylum here in the Netherlands, spreading them equally over the whole country. That is not the case at the moment. And we have, very bad. I think it is really serious when people come in and they need to sleep outside. There is no facility for them to have a roof over their head, to have food, to have a toilet, or any other way that you can wash yourself, or have water. I think that is really a bad situation. And that happened several times. Luckily, some people who are living in the neighborhood have been chipping in, came around with sleeping bags, food. Um, yeah, you can't take a toilet with you, but I'm pretty sure that it has been taken care of as well. But this shouldn't happen. But the right is not happy with the bill because they don't want those asylum seekers here in the Netherlands. So what the motion is about is to say, well, since we probably are going to what kind of coalition it is going to be, we probably are going to work on a decrease of people who are looking asylum in our country. And then we don't need this law. Because actually, I think they feel that this law means that there is more penetration on more places within the Dutch society of asylum seekers. I don't know what they are afraid of, but that's, yeah, that's what I think it is about. But it is a bit weird to stop the procedure of a law that might relieve some places and might give relief to some places where a lot of asylum seekers are now staying. You know, it is now like, Mr. Mayor, do you mind if we are going to build a new facility for asylum seekers? And the mayor says no, then there is no way that you can build a facility for asylum seekers. And most are saying no. Pieter Omtzigt, I think he is an interesting guy because he really wants to bring discussion back into the chamber. Pieter Omtzigt is the leader of the NSC in English, NSC in Dutch, and is one of those parties who might form a coalition with the other parties. Although I need to say that I have a feeling that he is not going to become part of that coalition. He has been asked about it, and he gave a bit of a vague answer. Is that he doesn't prefer to be in a minority setting, but at the same time, and that's a bit weird, that in that case he feels that another party should join, which automatically in this case means that it is a majority coalition. And even that another party will join doesn't mean that the NSC really wants to take part of that coalition, because they have been saying that they are willing to support a coalition of PVV, VVD, who doesn't want who doesn't want to become part of the coalition as well, but want to support it, and the BBB. So in essence, he's actually saying, I don't want to become part of that coalition. He's not just saying it straight out loud. And I think he wants to follow the process and see what is happening. And actually, I was about the process, because I think no. Let's get back to transparency. He is in favor of a coalition agreement where there is space for the chamber to discuss certain topics. let's say that the coalition is not going too much into details on topics, so the decision lies with the chamber, and it will provoke more open discussion and also different kinds of, well, not coalitions, but different kinds of cooperation between parties to get a bill done. I think that's an interesting way of seeing it. He's also about people of the government having a distance towards the chamber. And with that, I mean, think of people like people who really know about the ministry's content. So a minister who of defense who has been part of defense. So people who really know what they are talking about, and not just somebody out of the party who knows some of it and then still needs to learn a whole lot before you become a good minister. Those people don't have, those professionals don't have, or their background of what they are, of which party they prefer, doesn't matter that much. It is about their expertise, not about the party they might prefer. And that means that it is a completely different way of thinking than we are used to here in the Netherlands. Another point on transparency: when we look back at the cabinet of Mark Rutte, we can notice that at several moments there were decisions made in where the process was unconstitutional, where billions have been spent by the Prime Minister and a few ministers. And of course, it was the time of Corona. After that, we still have Ukraine, but that doesn't. But you can't do that when you don't have a special cabinet or a special ruling going on. So when it comes to being unconstitutional, we don't just look at the PVV, what they might do, but we also look backwards to what happened in those difficult years as the Corona and now with the Ukraine. So he really wants to guide that constitution. I was pleased to notice, because I was a bit confused about what is going to happen when. So I was pleased to notice that I think it was the leader of G66 who doesn't know either and has asked that question, like what is actually going to happen next? Are we going to talk about the constitution for 6 weeks? Well, not they, but the coalition with the informateur, or uh, is then are we going to talk about and the constitution and um, blockades like content where the parties firmly disagree upon? Can they reach an agreement on those points? And last point is the structure. It seems that all those points need to be talked about till the 1st of February in 6 weeks' time, although there will, of course, be recess. And after that, the, the, the coalition is really going to negotiate with the informateur. But at the same time, when you talk about content, you are already in um, in negotiation with each other because you want to know whether you can continue into the real negotiations. And about the first step, when it comes to the Constitution, there is some sort of cut there. If the Constitution might not be followed, then they are not going to continue their conversations. So if the first point is going to fall, they are not going to the second step. There are big differences, especially in way of thinking. And I have a feeling that, I don't know if I already said that, but that Pieter Omtzigt is not really interested in becoming part of that coalition. I think he, what might happen is that when you make a structure like that and you are in the coalition and it is going to collapse, that the parties who has been in that coalition will be punished for it at the next election. And maybe that is not even his main reason. I think from all the leaders I have been seeing, I think he is the most sincere in that he really wants things to change, and that especially for the people who are somehow falling through the gaps of every support, financial support they uh, might use but can't use because they are not eligible for it. Some people feel are not eligible for any kind of financial support but do need it. And he has been talking during an interview with people like that and pointing out what he feels needs to change and where the problem is. It was really interesting, I need to say. Okay, last point is for me today is that Geert Wilders has said that he wants to become the Prime Minister of the Netherlands. But I heard a commentator asking questions about that, and I have them too. So here it is. His party existed of 17 members, which aren't actually members because there's only one member of the party, and that is Geert Wilders himself. So what they are, I don't know, but somehow they are part of the party, which is in the second chamber, but they aren't. But okay, it existed of 17, let's say, members, to make it easy. And he is welcoming 20 new members. Those 20 new members are not that new, not to him. They have been functioning on a local or between local and federal level. We call that provinces, but there are 12 of them in the Netherlands. So he knows what they are about. And that is the whole thing behind this construction for a party, is that he wants to know what people are doing and what they are saying. And when he doesn't like it, I don't know what that actually means, but he likes to control that. To control that for 37 people is a whole lot, of which 20 are new to the chamber, which is still different from local or provincial government. So that commentator said, well, I actually think he doesn't want to become the next prime minister. What he wants is to have control over those 37 people. And he can't do that if he is the prime minister, because then somebody else is going to lead the party, which the party in the chamber. That's, we call it fractie, which you might see as a fraction of the party. But yeah, I think he has, because he was congratulating somebody who has become the fraction leader. And I think that is of his own party. So he is, in a way, he is going to develop to ultimately become the prime minister of the Netherlands. But at the same time, he will need to give up a whole lot, which he has been doing in the last 17 years. So this commentator wasn't very sure about it. At the same time, I think that looking at Geert Wilders as a person, I do think he wants to become the prime minister. So he will need to make a choice here. Where some others are more indifferent towards it, I think that he really wants to become the prime minister of the Netherlands. Okay, that was it for today. I am really curious about how the NSC is going to develop in the next few months. I think they don't know themselves. And I am really curious to see how the conflict within the VVD is going to develop. It might just blow up in their faces. That's possible. In the faces of the VVD. Oh, there's something I almost forgot to talk about, and that's the motion. No, I think I did. Okay. And when it comes to this motion and the way it is handled and the timing of it, it means that a whole lot of people have questions like, this is not appropriate to do. First, it's out of your hands. It's in the first chamber. They need to decide about it now. Secondly, to do it in a time where the cabinet is still there, the old cabinet. And three, it makes it will be really weird on Friday when the ministers are going to meet each other, and the leader of the VVD now is also a minister in the last cabinet and has been working on this bill. So you get into a really strange construction at the moment within the cabinet. And it seems that Mark Rutte, the prime minister, the current prime minister, was not that happy about it. So I don't know what's really going to happen with it, but we will see. Okay, that was it, what I had for today. If you have enjoyed this, you can give me a like. You can give me a dislike even if it is the other way around. But if you have made it so far, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Okay, bye.